All right, let's get some real politics now. Tonight, we're going to do a little looking ahead. And Andrew, let's break out the crystal ball.
Rich, let's tear another day off the calendar. We're now just 182 days from the election, and the margin in our poll of polls down to just 0.2 of a point. Here comes the nail biter. President Obama on the campaign trail, stumping for votes in Albany, New York today. But rather than focusing on what the president said, let's focus on his introduction instead. The president taking the stage and getting a handshake and a little, what would you call that, a man hug there from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. A lot of people have looked to Cuomo as a potential presidential candidate in 2016, which will make you wonder if we'll see this sort of handoff again down the road. Now, as long as we're speculating, let's just add that Cuomo has signed a book deal to write his autobiography, which will be out in 2014, right around the same time you'd expect to see candidates announcing they're running for president. Just a coincidence. Just file that nugget away somewhere. Might also want to file away the comments of Vice President Biden this weekend on Meet the Press. He got the 2016 question. His answer, that he and Hillary Clinton may run as a team. He said that was a joke, but then he added, quote, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to run, and Hillary doesn't know whether she's going to run. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton keeps saying she's not going to run, her latest offering that she wants to see a woman elected president in her lifetime and that it will not be her. This despite repeated comments from her husband that he'd love to see her run. And the occasional blog post in the Huffington Post, the latest coming from Mr. Dominic Carter, titled Hillary 2016, It Could Happen. Rich?
Dominic?
It is going to happen.
No.
It is going to happen. I covered the Clintons for many years, and I am telling you, never say never. I'm surprised that Obama beat her, and the Clintons never got over that. I am telling you, they got a 1-2 punch, Richard, going, when it might actually work.
And just to explain your conspiracy thing, the whole Bill Clinton, Barack Obama roadshow, he's always thinking 3 steps ahead. If he gives and he gets Obama over the finish line, there's going to be some political favors to run here to owe, and then the president's going to have to say to Mr. Joe or whoever else, sorry, love you like a brother, but you're going to have to wait.
If Andrew Cuomo puts Chelsea in his administration, then I think we're on to something with a conspiracy theory, okay?
All right, real quick, we got a lot to go to. He had to bet now. Who's the nominee for the Democrats in 2016?
Hillary Clinton.
I'm going with none of the above.
You just got to be different.
No, it's not. It ain't. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be Cuomo. I know it's not going to be Clinton, and I think Biden's done after it. I don't think we know who that person is at this point.
Marco Rubio.
Democrat.
No, I know. I'm kidding. I was thinking. Let me throw that favorite speculating name. I would say Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, I mean he's lining it up, and he's not talking to us. All right,
He's not talking to anybody.
He's not talking to anybody. All right,
Nope.
Let's go through the crystal ball one more time here. In this one, of a little bit more immediate concern, and Andrew, we're talking on the GOP side. Who's riding shotgun with Mitt?
I don't want to alarm anybody, but Mitt Romney still doesn't have a running mate. He's got a few months before he really needs one, but we're a political show with time to fill, so this is one of the issues that everybody's talking about. Okay, everybody, take a look at your monitors and let's play the feud. Question is, find the VP. Is there one on this list? You got Portman, Rubio, Jindal, Ryan, Christie. Still not seeing anybody you like? Let's set up another round. We got Bush, who says he's not going to run, but how many times have we heard that from a Bush? Pawlenty, McDonnell in Virginia, Mitch Daniels, Mike Huckabee, all names that the tops of several lists as possible or likely VP picks, Rich.
All right, let me start with our conservative friend tonight, TJ who? And why?
Rubio. Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, I believe, because, well, on several levels. First of all, he is a conservative. He will add conservative gravitas to the ticket, which is what all the Republicans, why this lack of coalescing, need some conservatism here. And a consistent message from the beginning, which is something you can't necessarily accuse Mitt Romney of having. So here's a consistent guy. He's young. He's an attractive fella. And he brings potentially Florida, all of her electoral votes, and potentially, that Latino vote. Now, Latinos don't vote as a block like some other minority groups, but they do vote block-ish. And, even if he just delivers a whole bunch of Florida Latinos and maybe a few of the other East Coast up and down, well, that doesn't really matter. You're going to lose New York anyway. But he delivers New York potentially.
You like Rubio?
I like Rubio. I like Rubio.
Andrew?
I think he's going to pick Rob Portman because I think he's looking for the safest possible option, the do no harm pick, and because he's looking for a guy who
more dull than him.
He's looking for a guy who makes him look more charismatic than he actually is.
Dom.
Rubio. And the reason why I agree with you is the same reason why McCain went with Palin, even though that blew up in his face.
Stupidity?
They needed somebody to counter this American story of Obama as a black man.
You don't think the little
and they still need that.
He's still young. How well has he been vetted?
But if you put Rubio on the ticket, you have a Latino.
Yeah.
That completely offsets Obama's African-American story.
You have a Latino who's not exactly riding the Latino or the
Right.
Hispanic political.
Right. Yeah.
No. But in terms of policy, he's not exactly in line with where the rest of the nation's Hispanics are.
I don't think
he necessarily delivers Florida, and he's
Yeah.
also. We think Chris Christie might be a little, might
Chris
blow
Christie
himself
will
up.
be the running mate, and I think that all of you, for all those things, he needs either somebody who's charismatic or is going to bring a demo, and maybe it's Rubio.
But who says he's charismatic?
I
I've
think,
never heard him described as charismatic.
I think either you need the charismatic or you need somebody who can fight. And I think
seems
that
to be
Christie,
arrogant
Christie will
and
take the
aggressive.
unpopular positions. Romney still keeps the polish, and I don't think Christie would have been as front and center. Not that he didn't love the camera. It's become the most dangerous place in Washington between him and the camera lately, or for that matter anywhere. But I do think there's a little bit of a method here. Why is he doing as much as he is and campaigning as far as he is? I think there's a deal already in the works, but I am definitely alone in that, and it's only my 2 cents. All right, finally, remember the old saying that Mom used to tell you, if you can't say anything nice about somebody, don't say anything at all? Well, last night I moderated a primary debate between two incumbent Democratic congressmen who are running here for one job here because of redistricting in New Jersey. The guys, Congressman Bill Pascrell and Steve Rothman, reportedly friends, but trust me, that's just in the past, because reportedly they're not friends, and I can attest to it being firsthand after a bruising debate for an hour last night. Colleagues in Congress, both progressive Democrats, little daylight on the positions between them, but when they're asked to say something nice about each other with about 10 minutes left in the debate after calling each other every name in the book, let's just say they didn't let the love shine through.
He, for the most part, has been a loyal Democrat when it suits his purpose.
He's far more conservative than most Democrats in our district. He is not a progressive.
I don't see him out there in the tough fights, talking on the floor, arguing the issues.
When you go to Washington, cave in to the 1%. That's not being a fighter.
If you can't fight them in New Jersey, how are you going to fight them down in Washington? That's the question.
Everybody can feel the love, you know?
I'm voting for that last guy.
Exactly. But the question again was, can you say something nice about your opponent? And with all kidding aside, this is part of the reason people can't stand politicians. I was sitting there saying, you have an opportunity. And to be fair, Obama did this 3.5 years ago, where the human side of the person comes through.
But he didn't say anything nice
He
about
didn't
Hillary
about
Clinton.
Hillary, right? And he said, you're likable enough.
Because you just went through before when we were talking about what Joe Biden said, you thought he went off the reservation, was just talking off the cuff. If you either you stick to the talking points and you get responses like we got last night, or you let yourself say
the
it.
distinction I'd say, it's a fair point you make, Andrew, is what Biden did hurt his boss. These guys are running for their own self.
But you never know when you go off your talking points. I mean, you're never quite sure if the thing that you're ad-libbing is going to be positive or negative.
Joe Biden should be able to do math to say, wait a minute, if I say this, am I going to hurt or put him in a position? Maybe you guys are right that it was all planned. My point is, if one of them just said, you know what, I want the job, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a bad guy. He's a good guy. We agreed on almost everything throughout the years here. I think I'm better, but I can't sit here and say that he hasn't served New Jersey well over the years. And even if the other guy bashed him, I think most people in the audience would say, you know what, if there's not much difference, I'd rather go with somebody I like. And those guys did their best to make themselves unlikable last night. And I've seen that in every debate, by the way, I've ever moderated. So they're not alone.